Imagine two self-styled tough guys in uniform, convinced they could bully a quiet recruit into oblivion. They mocked him, broke him down, and almost cost him his life. But what they didn't see coming was a small, soft-spoken chaplain who held the power to destroy their careers in one stroke. If you've ever dreamed of seeing karma show up with military precision, hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up. This is one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll hear today. I was stationed at the Seaside Naval Training Center in Rhode Island, a gray sprawl of buildings that always smelled like salt water and diesel. Among the fresh-faced recruits in my class was a guy I'll call Brian. He was short, round-shouldered, glasses always slipping down his nose, the kind of person you'd never peg as a Navy superstar. But inside that unassuming frame was one of the sharpest minds I'd ever met. Brian was training as a sonar technician, the math and computer side of the submarine world. He aced every technical exam, but when it came to physical training, he lagged behind. Not failing, just not matching the extremes demanded by our two petty officers, Sloan and Hardy. Picture them, tall, ripped, high-and-tight haircuts, obsessed with push-ups and protein shakes. They strutted around like action movie soldiers, even though our job was mostly behind a screen. They called Brian fatty, lazy, sometimes worse. One day I even heard Sloan hiss, "If you can't handle it, you might as well end it." Brian tried to comply. He pushed his body until his knee gave out. Base medical put him on light duty. But Sloan and Hardy waved the paperwork off. Run or get booted, they barked. His limp got worse. His eyes went dull. The only real mental health resource we had was Captain Maria Lewis, the chaplain, a tiny, silver-haired woman with the calmest voice you'd ever hear. Brian scheduled an appointment with her, desperate for help. When Sloan and Hardy found out, they mocked him harder. Going to cry to a priest? Pathetic. Show up tomorrow or regret it. Under pressure, Brian canceled the meeting. That same night, his girlfriend dumped him. At 3 a.m., my phone buzzed with his name. Static, breathing, then silence. I thought it was a drunk dial and went back to sleep, a decision that still knots my stomach. By sunrise, chaos. Brian's ex called. He was in the hospital. He'd slit his throat. Cold weather had clotted the wound just enough to keep him alive until medics arrived. He'd missed his carotid by a millimeter. When we rushed into the hospital, we passed Captain Lewis in the hallway. Gone was her usual softness. Her eyes burned, a mix of grief and fury. In that moment, I knew Sloan and Hardy's careers were over. Brian survived. His voice was a rasp, but he told us everything. The threats, the humiliation, the canceled appointment. He whispered, "I'm glad it didn't work." For a week, nothing. Then the chief of training summoned us. He wanted to check on morale and asked about Sloan and Hardy. One by one we described their lies, their bullying. The chief wrote notes, jaw tight. The next morning our instructors were gone. 2 new petty officers replaced them without explanation. I stopped by Captain Lewis's office after class. She admitted through tears that she'd gone straight to the admiral, the highest authority on base, and laid it all out. She demanded Sloan and Hardy's immediate separation from the Navy, and he granted it. Within days, Sloan and Hardy were processed out under other than honorable conditions. No pension, no VA benefits, no base housing, not even a moving allowance for their families, just a one-way bus ticket. One had served 18 years, 2 years shy of retirement. The other had 12. Decades of service evaporated because they couldn't resist tormenting a man already fighting to stay afloat. Any company with military contracts, even fast food outlets on base, is forbidden to hire someone with that discharge. They went from strutting bullies to unemployable outcasts overnight. Brian, meanwhile, received a full medical discharge with E5 pay and lifelong benefits. Last I checked, he's a police officer married, smiling in photos. Justice didn't just show up. It saluted him on the way out. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And of course, subscribe for more true stories where karma finally cashes in.